Did you know there are 465 million podcast listeners globally in 2023? Podcasting is a $23 billion industry. 1 in 3 Americans, or 33%, listen to podcasts. Are you considering launching your own podcast? I have the secret sauce to launch your show successfully. Welcome to All In Society, the ultimate show where poker, finance, and health merge. I'm your host, Claude Winston. Join me as we dive into this thrilling world of poker, expand our financial intelligence, and unlock secrets to a healthier lifestyle. Are you ready to go all in? Let's go. Want more information on who I am, what I do, and whom I do it for? Check out my brand new website, www.allinsociety.com. Ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, we are live on YouTube. Watch each episode in audio and visual on my YouTube page. This is only the beginning. Stay tuned for live interviews and more. Check it out and let me know what you think. For an exclusive behind the scenes look at my poker sessions and daily adventures, check out my new Patreon page, link in episode bio. There you will find videos of my poker sessions, breakdowns of big hands I play throughout the week, staking opportunities, particularly this month of August. I'm going to be playing some poker tournaments at Maryland Live Casino and MGM National Harbor. We're going to break down my big hands I play throughout the week, live chats, poker strategy discussion, and more. Today's episode, we'll discuss the biggest takeaways from the podcast summit hosted by David Shands at the Intercontinental Hotel in Miami. And oh my, if y'all did not go to this summit, if you are at all interested in podcasting and you did not attend this summit, I am so sorry for you. The FOMO that you must have right now. This was an amazing event. If you guys follow me on Facebook or on Instagram, I shared my stories throughout the day. On each day that I was there, Miami was a vibe. I don't want y'all to say this too loud, or I don't want y'all to tell EYL because I'm a big fan of them. But this was arguably more impactful and more. I took more from this summit than I took from InvestFest last year. InvestFest last year, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of speakers on there. There's plenty of leaders in their space that provided gems and valuable information that changed my life, and I took and I implemented soon as I left Atlanta. But for this podcast summit, we're on to something new, guys. If you're interested in podcasts whatsoever, I need you guys to tune in to the Social Proof podcast with Donnie and David Shands and soak up as much information as you can from them if you missed out on this podcast summit. But lucky for you, I'm going to share some of the most important points, quotes, gems, anything that I can provide to help you along your way if you're interested in opening or starting your own podcast. So what exactly is the podcast summit? The podcast summit is a relationship building and collaboration conference gathering some of the most influential podcasters and their teams to show you what it takes to become the next world-class business leader. If you want to check out a little bit more information and see who exactly was there, I will put the link to the website in the episode description, but it's simply podcastsummit.com. Before we talk about the speakers and some of the insights they provided during the summit, I want to touch on the hotel. As I told you guys before, I stay at IHG Properties quite a bit, especially when I traveled around as a poker dealer from in my mid and my early 20s. Now, a lot of those times I was staying in the middle of nowhere. They weren't really lavish hotels, not a lot of entertainment around. But I have stayed in New York on Times Square, and the room was beautiful. The room was a little small, but the room was beautiful, and the location was great. I've been down in Florida, in Orlando, with plenty of pools at their properties, but there was nothing quite like this Intercontinental IHG Hotel smack dab in downtown Miami. This is my first trip to Miami, and Lord, I did not do it right. I have to go back. I have to get one of those private boats. I have to. I saw so many folks partying on boats, looking like they were having the best time of their life. That is the Miami experience. And if you guys watch Stephen A. Smith, he is always excited when the Miami Heat's deep in the playoffs or he has the opportunity to go down to South Beach. And now I understand why. There are beautiful people walking to and from, passing by you on a given basis. The amount of money that is flowing into Miami downtown is outrageous. But I had an amazing trip. I want to share some of my most memorable parts of my hotel room, the hotel itself, the surrounding area. So here we go. As I said, the hotel is gorgeous and the customer service was excellent. The architecture, there were sculptures inside. I'll touch on that a little bit more. I did take a couple photos. Hopefully I'll be able to add that on and share it to you guys as well in some slides, maybe along with this video. You have views of the Atlantic Ocean, the Biscayne Bay, and the Port of Miami. There are 653 guest rooms, plus luxurious suites. I stayed in a partial ocean view room. It was on the 25th floor, the 25th level, and it was gorgeous. I opened up the window and right down, you can see the pool on the left-hand side. You can see the Port of Miami or Biscayne Bay, whatever it was. I'm terrible at geography and landmarks and all that. But there was a large body of water to my left. The pool was heated. Don't let me forget to tell you that. Pool was heated. It was the water over here to the left when I looked outside the window. The pool was here, and off to the right, you see this green area, and it wasn't actual grass, but they had like soccer net set up, balls out there. I'm sure you could take your pets out there and kind of have fun with them. I'm pretty sure. Yes, 100%. It was It was a pet friendly hotel as well. So I'm sure you guys that are pet lovers are excited to hear that as well. You can bring your family, all parts of your family, the humans and the non-humans, to this hotel. Also, there was Bayfront Park and Bayside Marketplace within walking distance. I did see I'm not sure if this was what Bayfront Park is, but there was an outdoor event center there as well. They can hold concerts and things like that. I did go by the marketplace. I went to the Hard Rock Cafe. The food was meh, customer service meh, but I just want to go inside, get a quick bite to eat and some air conditioning. It was hot out there. I can't take that heat, y'all. I would love to live down there, but I would not live there year round. The heat and humidity, it's too hot for me. All right, y'all, let's dive into the speakers. First up, Donnie Wiggins. Now she came out and she got the party started. Donnie she's a business coach, and she is the co-host of the Social Proof podcast. If you listen to podcasts and you haven't downloaded their podcast, I highly suggest you do so. She also has her own podcast, so check that out as well. But one of the takeaways from her was when scheduling interviews, create episode release waiver and disclaimer. And you want to seek an attorney for assistance in creating these release waivers and disclaimers. Now, to elaborate a little bit more on that, if I can remember exactly what she was saying. So, for example, for the release waiver, I think she provided an example, like you do an interview, have somebody come in, you have a great interview, but that individual you interviewed felt that they gave too much information or they just didn't like the interview. But if they sign that waiver, you're going to release the content as you see fit. Once they sign, there's no haggling back and forth. But now if there's something that's reasonable and you can accommodate, you're going to obviously do so if you choose to. But just be mindful of this. A release waiver might be something that you want to have an attorney draft. And also a disclaimer. Now, the next up was the man of the hour. The person who got us there in the first place, and that is David Shands. As I had said, he is the co-host of a Social Proof podcast. His story was he's worked at the Cheesecake Factory, and from the Cheesecake Factory, he started making these t-shirts. And I believe the t-shirts, it was around sleep is for suckers, or kind of like, you sleep when you die type mentality. You're here on this planet to get to work, to get busy. You don't have time to sleep. Now, is sleeping important? Absolutely. But you understand the motto and everything, the message behind that. The one takeaway that I got from David, and guys, I'm not going to give you all the sauce. You had to be there for the summit, but I'm giving you the most impactful and maybe not tangible things that you can take and implement yourself if you wanted to start a podcast, but it gets your mind running a little bit and makes you think some things, make you think outside the box. So for David, I have a quote, and he said, "How do you get someone to believe in your dream? You build it." Now this hit me hard, and I want to repeat that. He said, "How do you get someone to believe in your dream? Build it." Now, sometimes you have these lavish dreams that you can only see that it's actually attainable. You dream so large, so big, so grandiose. Not many of your peers really see eye to eye with you, and it's kind of hard for them to buy in, right? But if you put your head down and you get to work and you build this thing out and you see community follow behind you, your peers, your family, your friends, you build it to the point that they can't deny it, and they see what you're doing and they want to be a part of it. So I thought this was a great takeaway. And for me personally, this is something that I needed to hear myself. Stop trying to worry about getting my friends, family to buy into whatever I'm doing. Now, if you have family and if they don't really agree with what you're doing, and it can create some friction, right? So you want to have that communication. Communication is absolutely key. In business, in your family endeavors, in life, communication is key. So I thought this was a huge takeaway. Mario Armstrong. Now, I did not know who Mario was before this event. Now, let me tell you, I am sure as hell, excuse my language, going to look him up and figure out how I can utilize some more of his teachings to impact my brand, my podcast. Now, Mario, he assists in landing corporate sponsorship deals, and it sounds like he's done this quite a bit and has a lot of experience doing so. And I'm going to read you, and I'm going to give you some of the insight that he provided. He had some slides, and he dropped a lot of gems on his time on stage. He was a very passionate speaker, and I really like that. I'm passionate myself, especially when I'm talking about poker or finance and health. I think those topics are very important for every individual that's on this planet. You may not be interested in like gambling and playing cards, but you can use poker as a tool to kind of get your friends and family together and make sure you guys are working aside one another. And there's a lot of similarities in the stocks and investing and poker that you can learn by playing poker for free, and you can implement that in stocks and investing in the future. So I'm a huge proponent in poker and what it can do in other areas of your life. But like I said, we're going to hit on what Mario had to say. And based on data from Black Podcast Listener Report 2.0, as a result of hearing a sponsorship or advertisement on a podcast you regularly listen to this, guys. And I'm going to repeat this. Based on data from Black Podcast Listener Report 2.0, as a result of hearing a sponsorship or advertisement on a podcast you regularly listen to, 52% of Black weekly podcast listeners purchase a service or product. Do you understand that? 52%. 52%. That is an outrageous number. 52% of Black individuals, weekly podcast listeners, purchase a service or product. What does that tell you? They trust whoever is producing that podcast, whoever is hosting that podcast, they're listening to them and they trust that podcast producer or that host or that creator or that influencer, whatever you want to call someone that creates their own show or podcast. They 100% trust that person, and they will buy the product or service at a higher, more than 50% clip. That is absolutely amazing. Something you guys should consider. Ash Cash. Now, how many of you have heard of Ash Cash before? I'm sure you have. I listen to his podcast and sometimes he blows my eardrums out like, bro, step away from the microphone or something, or stop yelling at me. But and I'm just joking around because his messages are amazing. And he has such great energy. He had us up reciting this, for lack of a better word, I'll just call it mantra, to kind of get us prepared and get us in the right mindset. He was all about mindset, and he is a best-selling author, and he is a great entrepreneur. And this is what I took away from him. If you're writing a book, you also need to have a VIP service to sell to your clients. So if you're publishing a book, say for my instance, I want to teach you guys how to play poker. There also needs to be a higher tiered or a VIP service that you provide for your readers. The books only take them so far, right? Some folks are going to be so entrenched in your message and what you're trying to help them with and provide them with that they want something more hands-on. They want to interact with you one-on-one. And you need to make yourself available and provide some type of level of service to those customers. So I thought this was a great takeaway. Hala Taha. Now, hopefully I didn't butcher her name, but she is a force to be reckoned with in the podcast industry. She has one of the leading podcasts on all major podcast networks. I need you guys to check her out. Now, this blew my mind, guys. This might be right here. This might be, if not the top 3 gems that I took away from this podcast summit. Now, listen up to this. Your thumbnails for your YouTube are extremely important. Almost more important than your content itself. Let me read that again. Thumbnails are extremely important. Almost more important than the content yourself. Now, how do you get somebody to click on your videos? If you have an engaging thumbnail that says somehow you can show exactly what your that episode is exactly going to be about with like bold letters and text, and have a visual of maybe you doing one of these or something like that, something that attracts the viewer's eyes, makes them want to click on it. You also have to have a title that makes somebody want to click on it and want to know what is this episode about? I want to check this out. So just be mindful of that, guys. Thumbnails are just as important as your content itself. You also want to have engaging, great content, right? If you have terrible content, no one's going to watch your stuff. They're going to click your thumbnail that had caught their attention. And then after 5 seconds, they're going to be staring at this and they're just going to watch something else, right? You're not engaged. So you have to have great content as well. And I'm hoping to providing you guys great content as well. Moving along, CJ or Carlos Quinney. Woo! Now, this guy, he was funny. He brought his son on stage who told us a couple of corny jokes, like dad jokes. But he's from Michigan, so I really was in tune to his message. If you guys know who Eric Thomas is, he is one of the leaders that's behind Eric Thomas, the greatest speaker, arguably ever. And I want to tell you a story before I give you this nugget that CJ provided. He said that early in Eric Thomas's career, he was offered an opportunity to speak, and that speaking engagement would have paid him $10,000. And Eric declined it. Now, why in the world would somebody decline $10,000 when they're just starting out? That's great money, right? Well, because the corporation that asked him to speak, they wanted him to do something that wasn't conducive to his message or who he was. They wanted to put on a suit. Now, if you've seen Eric Thomas, he's laid back, he's comfortable, he comes as he is, how he sees himself. He's not somebody who's going to put on a suit and try to show face for somebody who is higher ranked high in corporate ladder or whatever the case may be. You guys know what I'm saying. That's not him. He wants to come as he is and be himself. And I thought that was very impactful. He turned that down because they want him to be something that he wasn't, and he did not agree with that. You cannot buy him. If you want his message and if you want his insight, you're going to take him as he is. And I thought that was very, a huge takeaway and something we should all consider. We shouldn't, for money or for whatever the case may be, we shouldn't change who we are or be somebody different. Be yourself. But CJ, he dropped this, and I believe it was on the side, and everyone kind of was like, when he dropped this, and he elaborated. Nobody cares about your content. Nobody. Especially when you're just starting out. Nobody cares. Your job as a content creator is to create experience, build community, and move somebody emotionally. Great takeaway. I'm going to read that again. Nobody cares about your content. Create an experience and build community. Last but certainly not least, Him 500. Now, if you don't know who Him 500 is, he's the creator of Recession Proof, far as I know, and a entrepreneur. He's a master at creating content as well. He just gave a couple of valuable nuggets. He said use CapCut, which I downloaded, and Get Munch is what's a website. And oh my Lord, you can, if you haven't seen my Instagram or Facebook recently, take a look at that. You can see where from this past weekend, I uploaded an interview, and I took that video file and I uploaded it to Get Munch. Within 30 minutes, Get Munch edited my video in clips, in small short clips, so I can give you guys like sneak peeks of, or little snippets of my interviews. And then if you want to, you can come to my YouTube page and watch the full version of it. But you guys know those reels and those short videos are really catching on right now. And I'm sure a lot of you guys that are content creators, I don't want to spend a lot of time editing my video. So something like Get Munch was very valuable, and it saved me a lot of time, allowed me to move on and do some other things while those clips were being uploaded, and they were building out those short clips for me. I also have a couple of additional notes for you guys. Ecamm, E-C-A-M-M, for virtual interviews, not Zoom. If you want something higher quality, use Ecamm. And also, Close the Loop. Now, this one's great. Then this is another gem from Hala. She said, close the loop. If someone engages with your content, they are essentially giving you a pass to reach out to them to discuss their products or services. So if you guys put something on, say you're a podcaster or you're a content creator, or you have products or services that you want to help people, whatever your field or your industry is, and someone likes your content or someone shares your content, reach out to them. They're clearly interested, right? So reach out to them. Say, hey, I'm so-and-so. I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. Tell me more about yourself. How can I help you? These are my products and services. So reach out to them, guys. We're not going to do the quote of the day today because I had a ton of quotes in there. Like I said, the one from David, the one from CJ. There was plenty of gems in this episode. But we're going to read that mantra, right? We're going to get in that right mindset. If you guys haven't heard the mantra yet, hopefully we get a lot of new viewers on YouTube. I would love for you guys to write this down or copy and paste it for yourself. And when I'm reading it myself, you guys are reading along with me. I think this is a great way to start your day. This is a great way to start your weekend. So here we go. I am an unstoppable force, embarking on a thrilling journey of growth and unity. My ambition burns within me, pushing me to break through limitations and create opportunities that open doors to progress. I am guided by knowledge, fearlessly taking strategic risks and facing life's challenges with wisdom and determination. I value my body, nurturing it with strength and embracing my heritage. Together, we overcome obstacles, empowering each other to achieve greatness. I am the architect of my own destiny, weaving success and resilience. Within me lies the greatness to carve a future where possibilities know no bounds. Together, let's rise and take it to another level. Please read the disclaimer when you guys have the time. We didn't dive in anything too deep today, other than making sure you reach out to an attorney to help you with those disclaimers and that release form. New episodes are going to drop every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday and Wednesday, and 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday. If you guys would like to support, please do so by following the podcast and my YouTube page, my brand new page. Download all the episodes, play all the episodes on YouTube, share with your friends and family, and leave a review, please. Please, please, please. Last but not least, if you guys are planning to travel anytime soon, check out Travel Pro. I have my link in the episode description. I want you guys to have a wonderful day. I'll see you on the felt.